Have you ever wondered what the stock market really is and why people are always talking about it? You hear terms like Dow Jones, bull market, and buy the dip all the time. But what does it actually mean? In this video, I'm going to break down the stock market in the simplest way possible. No confusing jargon, no advanced economics, just a clear explanation that anyone can understand. Let's get started. So, what exactly is the stock market? Think of it like a giant marketplace. But instead of buying things like groceries or clothes, people are buying and selling tiny pieces of companies. These pieces are called stocks or shares. When you buy a stock, you're essentially owning a small part of that company. If the company does well, the value of your share can go up. If it doesn't do well, the value can go down. It's really just that simple. You're buying a small ownership stake in a business. Now, you might be asking, why would a company want to sell parts of itself to the public? Great question. The main reason companies do this is to raise money. When a business wants to grow, whether that's launching a new product, opening a new location, or hiring more staff, it needs funding. One way to get that money is by going public and selling shares to investors. This process is called an IPO, or initial public offering. Once the company is public, regular people like you and me can buy its stock, and in return, the company receives capital to fuel its growth. Let's walk through a really simple example. Imagine you buy 10 shares of a company at $10 each. That's a $100 investment. A few months later, the company announces a big breakthrough, and the stock price rises to $15. Now your 10 shares are worth $150. If you decide to sell, you've made a $50 profit. On the flip side, if the stock drops to $7, your investment is only worth $70. And unless you sell, you've lost money only on paper. That's the basic idea of how investing works. You're betting on the company's future success. So, where does all this buying and selling actually happen? It takes place on platforms called stock exchanges. In the United States, the two most well-known exchanges are the New York Stock Exchange, or NYSE, and the NASDAQ. These are like digital marketplaces where stocks are listed and traded. Every time you place an order to buy or sell stock through your investment app, that trade gets routed through one of these exchanges. But what makes stock prices move up or down? That all comes down to supply and demand. When more people want to buy a stock than sell it, the price goes up. When more people want to sell than buy, the price goes down. But what influences this supply and demand? It could be a company's earnings report, a news headline, economic conditions, or even investor emotions like fear and greed. That's why the market can sometimes feel unpredictable, because human psychology plays a huge role in it. So, why do people invest in the stock market? Because historically, it's one of the most effective ways to build wealth over time. The overall market, especially indexes like the S&P 500, has generally gone up over the long run despite short-term dips and crashes. People invest to grow their savings, build retirement funds, earn passive income through dividends, and most importantly, to beat inflation, which slowly erodes the value of your money if it just sits in the bank. Of course, it's not without risk. Stock prices can go up and down quickly. You can lose money, especially if you panic during a downturn and sell at a loss. That's why it's so important to do your research. Invest only what you can afford to risk. Diversify your portfolio, meaning don't put all your eggs in one basket, and focus on the long term rather than trying to time the market. So now you know, the stock market isn't some mysterious game. It's simply a place where people buy and sell ownership in companies. It's a tool, and like any tool, it works best when you know how to use it. If you learned something new today, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more finance and investing content, and drop a comment below. Have you ever invested in the stock market? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.